In this week's Fresh Produce Market Overview, we discuss the latest online market trends with Louis de Kock Jr. from Nile Marketplace, and we also compare the last 4 seasons' prices and market trends. All in this week's episode, so make sure to stay tuned.
This outlook is made possible by Standard Bank, that plays a crucial role across the full agribusiness value chain, from what happens on the farm and beyond the farm gate, right up to when the farm's product reaches the retailer shelves. Because of this, they understand the full agriculture ecosystem and the trends and risks across the sector, and they're able to give guidance on the right finance, insurance, and working capital solutions at every stage. Standard Bank, it can be.
Was the Hilux born a legend? No, it was made one by you.
Hi, I'm Johnny van der Merwe and welcome to this week's AMG Fresh Market Overview, made possible by Standard Bank, Nile Marketplace and Halfway Toyota. Looking at the latest economic indicators, the rand weakened significantly the past week due to the US dollar gaining some support and traded on 14.27 rand per US dollar, while the latest Brent crude oil price increased to $73.52 per barrel. In spite of low demand on the markets last week, the potato price still increased by 4% to 58.89 rand per 10 kg, with volumes 18% lower than the long-term average. As can be seen, the price is significantly higher compared to the previous 3 seasons due to limited volumes on the markets. Last week, the latest tomato price decreased to 6.79 rand per kilogram, with volumes slightly higher week on week. Compared to the past 3 seasons, the current price came back to level terms the past month, with volumes also increasing to normal levels. The latest carrot price traded lower to 3.32 rand per kilogram last week, with prices pretty much following similar trends of the past 3 seasons, trending downwards over the past 2 months or so. This was due to volumes that stayed on a higher level over this period as well. The latest onion price decreased to 4.48 rand per kilogram, with volumes decreasing week on week. Interesting to note is that we precisely followed the price trend of the 2018-2019 production season over the last 6 weeks, trending upwards over this period. Volume trends usually spike towards the start of a new month, indicating better demand and high deliveries as well. Other vegetable prices traded as follows: cabbages lower on 2.16 rand, garlic higher on 58 rand, spinach lower on 2.84 rand, sweet potatoes lower on 3.41 rand, while the latest pepper price decreased to 9.12 rand per kilogram last week. This section was brought to you by Nile Marketplace. Nile provides an online platform to buy fresh produce directly from SA's leading farmers. The platform provides a single dashboard that shows live prices and availability for a wide range of fresh produce. As a buyer, you get access to high quality produce from well-known farmers at farm gate prices. Fresh produce trading has never been this efficient. Learn more at Nile.ag. Looking at the latest fruit market prices, the latest banana price traded on 6.81 rand last week, but compared to the previous 3 seasons, the price is still on a slightly higher level, with volumes decreasing the past month. The latest apple price stayed on its relatively low level of 6.65 rand per kilogram, 2% higher compared to the previous week, and is staying on even terms with the previous 3 seasons' prices as well. Volumes to markets are expected to stay relatively stable for now. The latest pear price traded on 7.01 rand per kilogram last week. In the citrus market, the latest orange price decreased to 2.69 rand per kilogram. Last year, this price traded on a higher level than normal, but we might soon see some improvement in the current price as volumes can gradually start to decrease from here on out. The lemon market is still under severe pressure, with the latest price on 3.23 rand per kilogram. A new lemon protocol between China and South Africa can, however, bring some much needed support to this industry. Last week, the avocado price increased to 16.17 rand per kilogram, increasing well above the price over the past 3 seasons as well. Looking at the volumes delivered to market, it is well below the level of the past 3 seasons, pushing up these prices currently. The table grape price increased by 29% week on week to R39.25 per kilogram, still much lower compared to the past 3 seasons, with volumes still relatively higher on the markets currently. Pineapples traded on R4.57, with the latest peach price increasing to R14.23 per kilogram. Make sure to click on the Halfway Toyota link below. Andrew and his team at Halfway Toyota is waiting for you with the best prices and service countrywide for the Toyota of your choice. This broadcast was made possible by Standard Bank, Nile Marketplace and Halfway Toyota. We're here with Louis de Kock Jr. from Nile Marketplace today, and we're going to discuss some online market trends. Welcome, Louis. I'm very glad to discuss some trends with you today.
Hi, Johnny. It's good to be with you today.
Louis, first of all, why did Nile Marketplace get involved in the online specific, if we're looking to the online marketplace?
Yeah, Johnny, so you would know that I've actually been involved in many different online ventures in the past. So I've been involved at Amazon, so obviously the world's biggest e-commerce company, where I was specifically responsible for fruit and vegetables, first in the UK market, and then also responsible to launch the fruit and veg section in the US. And before that, I was actually in Kenya, so I was working for Jumia, which is also a very big e-commerce company. And so during my time there, I realized the potential of online. So obviously I saw that things are changing and that there's really a big need and also a big opportunity to digitize the fresh produce industry within the African context. And I think there's a couple of benefits of like online trading. Like one of it is obviously transparency. So because you connect buyers and sellers directly, you have full transparency, and both sides of the transaction actually has full transparency as to the transaction that's occurring. That's one side of it. But the second part is the efficiency. So I mean, you get efficiency because a lot of manual processes are digitized on the one side, but then the second part is actually allocation efficiency. So you are actually able to allocate products to markets where there's the biggest need for that specific product. And of course, through e-commerce, you're not bound to a specific market. So it means you can actually be allocating products to the markets regardless of where that location is.
Very interesting, Louis. So are you telling me there won't be place for any physical markets in South Africa anymore looking into the future?
So Johnny, we've been clear from the start that we believe that Nile is just a new and an additional channel. And we believe that if we do what we do well, we will actually grow the pie. So the idea is not, to take share away from existing participants, but rather to create a market that's more efficient and then enables more people in more places in South Africa to access fresh produce in an affordable way. And we're certainly already seeing that. So wherever we've been involved with buyers in deep rural areas, we've been able to deliver fresh produce that's fresher and that's also at a lower cost to these markets. And as a result, over time, obviously the demand in these areas grow. And the same idea obviously applies also to cross-border trade. So you would know one of the key ideas behind Nile is that we should not have a localized market. So we should actually think beyond South Africa's borders and also allow local producers to access markets, neighboring countries, but also into the rest of the continent. And again, by doing so, grow the market. And so to be specific to your question, we believe there's a role for many different participants, including the municipal markets. Each of these different role players definitely has a specific role to play, but we certainly see a big opportunity for digital transformation within this space.
Yes, I fully agree, and I think the work you're doing, the work that municipal markets are doing, is essential ultimately in creating food security, alleviating poverty in rural areas, and playing different roles in different sectors, of course. Louis, going into some market statistics, I know Nile Marketplace grew massively the last year or two since you started, and what's the latest trends that you saw in the markets?
Yeah, so maybe just to touch on the growth that you've mentioned, Johnny. So, we've been really surprised by the adoption of the marketplace. So our expectation was for it to take a lot longer to grow and to take off fully. And to be honest, this is a fully fledged business that grows, every single week. And we can see new participants coming onto the market every week, but we also see them remaining on the market. So meaning Clearly, they're happy with the service that's provided, and clearly it is a more efficient channel because both buyers and sellers remain on the channel once they've joined. So I think that's very encouraging for us, and that's something that we're tracking as a metric very closely. So the attrition rate is very important for any online marketplace, and that's very, very low for us. So we're very happy with that, and I think it just shows, at a very macro level, that there is a move towards digital spaces. We are surprised actually how comfortable both buyers and sellers are to interact online, so to transact online. And I think a big part of it is obviously to do with COVID. So a lot of people moved their own personal shopping online. And as a result, I think they were very comfortable to also transact their own produce or their own business online. So I think at a macro level, that's what we're seeing. If we move a little bit more into the details, of course, the market, like an online market, gives you a lot more potential that you would not necessarily find in a localized market. So one of this is actually the selection that you can get access to. So remember, on our marketplace, if you're a buyer, you order specific products, which are then packed by the seller based on your demand. And so it means we can actually have many, many different permutations of the same product, just with different specifications or different packaging or different ways it's packed onto a pallet. And I'm explaining this because the trends that we're seeing flowing out of this is that obviously we're seeing a much larger share of pre-packaged or pre-packed products being sold through our online marketplace if you were to index that to a traditional market. And we've seen that grow over time as we give feedback obviously to the sellers and as they see the need for it. So that is definitely a trend that's very, very pertinent on the marketplace. I would not say it's necessarily because of the way the overall environment is changing. I think it's more because of the opportunities that online presents and the way that again grows the market and grows different opportunities and allows for more optimal allocation of products. So I think prepackaged products is certainly an important one for us. I mean, at a lower level, so meaning like in the current month, obviously we're seeing big shortages on potatoes as everyone else is seeing. A benefit again is that we're drawing from all the different regions within the country, so we are able to secure produce to our buyers regardless of the season and regardless of weather conditions or shortages, because we're not bound to that specific region. We have supply all across the country. Clearly, it's also citrus season. It's winter. You would know about all the supply disruptions within the citrus export market, which means we have lower prices locally and also way more demand locally because of the lower prices, and so we're definitely seeing a lot of demand on the platform for bulk citrus, so 6 and 3 kilogram citrus bags, which of course is very encouraging. Another trend that's very clear to us is the growth in the pepper market. I think you've spoken about it before. Peppers has increased, demand for peppers has increased a lot. I think there's been a lot of creativity in the way producers actually sell pepper. So obviously they pre-package it again in 2s and 3s and 4 mixed bags in robot peppers. They do very interesting different packaging. It's a competitive market, but it's certainly one that has grown a lot and where we see a lot of demand. And again, a disproportionate amount of our sales is actually through these type of products that we are selling. Another thing that you would be aware of is that the seasons will soon be moving on the onion side. So we'll soon see the move from the Cape to Limpopo. And obviously, again, we're ready for that. We have producers in the Limpopo area and we will have continuity on supply there as we move into that season.
Yo, that's unbelievably interesting, and thank you, Louis, for all the work that you're doing, securing the markets, making it more efficient. I think it's unbelievably important work that you're doing as well, especially within the context of South Africa. And thank you for all the information, and I hope to speak to you very soon again.
Thank you, Johnny. Always good to chat to you.